We are live.
We are live. All right. Well, welcome everyone to the latest edition of the Key Pass Collective. We are, of course, the audio companion to the Draft Society. We just got through a long, grueling season of providing you with an excellent assortment of stats, rankings, everything else. You know the drill. I'm not doing it again until we talk about the draft yet. But yeah, got an interesting, some might say weird pod for you today. Weird first because Joe, as you can tell, is not with us. I mean, not he's still roaming the earth, but he's just not on this pod. But we do have some good gents with us to help us get us over the line. Tottiandor, as well as Robbie, who's not that common of a podcaster. So feel very thrilled to see him twice in 2 weeks since I last saw him. Yeah, I saw him in person. We went to the Arsenal Wolves game, so yeah, it feels good to see you again, man. How are you?
Yeah, all good, Ryan. Yeah, that was a fun day, and your boys actually put on a show for us at least.
They did, yeah. Take the pressure off in there. 5-star performance. So
yeah,
glad they did the biz, but yeah, that was fun. Toddy, how are you, man?
I'm good. Apparently, Joe took the music with him, so that's why.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. That's why it was a little bit more of an awkward beginning than usual. I was waiting for the
I was gonna do the vocals, but then I decided against it for those 4 people who had already been listening to the live stream. So
I'm sure they appreciate it.
If it was just us 3, I would have gone with the vocals, but we still need those 4 people to subscribe. So
yeah, no, every little bit helps for sure. So all right, well, like I said, we have an interesting segment today. So I'm going to talk a bit about Champions League final. Way too early ranks. It's very, very early, but why the hell not? Some scoring trends, how things have kind of changed a bit over the course of the season. Will they last going into the next season? A little bit of lighter fare with best summer drink, summer plans, and surprise new segment, which I don't know if I'm supposed to break the surprise right now or just wait till we come to it.
You can.
I can? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a quiz, but it's got a little bit of a wrinkle to it. So I will wait to talk about that until we get to it. So make sure you don't turn us off too quickly if you haven't already, given the lack of an intro song. So yeah, let's get to it. CL final. Man City going for the treble versus Inter Milan, who may be the most boring team on earth when juxtaposed with an attacking juggernaut like City. So how are we feeling about this, boys? Are we excited? Who do we want to win? How do you think it's going to go down? Talk to me.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, further down, is there who actually wants them to win anything? Yeah. Okay, fair enough. What Segalia could bugger off then?
I want them to win because Man United fans all season have been cheering for them to beat Arsenal in the league, and all they talk about is their freaking trouble from 60 years ago. So I wouldn't mind City taking that away from them.
I think my ideal was United losing the FA Cup final and then City losing the Champions League final, and we're halfway there. So
yeah, I wouldn't mind that either.
And at least the Hammers got the win last night as well, so that was great.
Yeah, happy for them.
Yeah. I don't know. What about you, Toy?
I'm not a huge Inter fan. We have friends in Reggio Emilia who are very big Inter fans. If I watch any Italian football, I'm a Juventus fan for my sins. But yeah, I'd much rather see Inter win it. The taking of the treble title is too abstract for me to make it make me a Man City fan, unfortunately. But yeah, I just jotted down some progressively abstract questions that we could talk about concerning the Champions League final. And Magnus, this is the beer. It's called Flying Rabbit. It's an IPA. It's just it's Hungarian, small small beer company. I have two more to drink tonight. Again, progressively more abstract. This is the next one. It's called Monkey Temple.
Good name.
It's a Bavarian Weizen beer with vanilla, which is not so good, I think. And this is the last one. It's called Liquid Cocaine, and it's it's nice. A double IPA. So,
what percentage is that?
It is 9%.
9.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my go-to bad beer.
Yeah.
That's for the end. And I have
what's Gamma Ray?
Gamma Ray.
So 6?
It's 5.4.
Jesus Christ! You know the exact percentage. Oh my God.
Well, yeah, I've drunk enough of it. But I mean,
you freaking hope so, I guess.
I mean, you find it on tap, you treat it like a session beer, you know.
Yeah,
that's the way you do it.
So they
and
say,
I have a little beer cozy as well, so that they all keep cold. Anyways, so will there ever be an asterisk behind this City team, you think?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You're not going to be able to bring this up without the charges being brought up. I don't care if they somehow clear them all. There's just no getting around it. Whether or not that's enough to sway anybody really is another story, and you can't discount the fact that they're playing amazing football, but you got to take it with a huge mound of salt. And I'm certainly salty. So,
yeah, I've heard as a son of an aquatically excellent nation. I've heard this City team compared to when they swam at the Olympics in those shark dresses. Like every record was broken in like the qualifiers because everyone was like a second faster. And like it's something like that. Like, can we appreciate the amazing football that they play without considering how they got there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. I mean, I sort of feel a little bit ambivalent about it in some ways because, you know, like everyone's spending money, aren't they? And it's just like the scale of it. And so, you know, what are you going to do? The whole FFP rules and all that are actually, you know, effectively stopping anyone else, you know, going crazy and being able to match them in quite the same way. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's going to be football. We're still going to watch it. We're still going to we're still going to play fantasy. We're still going to crack on. So yeah,
it's the same with the World Cup, right?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Was up in arms about it, and then everyone was watching it at the end and enjoying it. Like,
yeah, it was one of the best World Cups we've had in ages.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean, none of us are going to boycott it because of all the tomfoolery, but it is super, super annoying, especially if they win it again next year. That'll be, 5 and 6 or something? just crazy. Oh, it looks like Joe's listening in.
Lazy mug.
Yeah.
Actually, Tom's raised a good point, Tom Husband there, just about whether they're actually even good to watch. And I sort of had this feeling back in the day, like with Barcelona when they were so good. It's like, did I actually enjoy watching that? They keep a lot of possession, and it just, I don't know. When there's games,
very good point.
Especially when you watch like Real Madrid, for example, in the Champions League, there's so many transitions in the game. It's like, it's snappy, it's wild. Whereas, like a controlled game, where they have most of the possession, and only, let up, I suppose they let up the odd chance, don't they? And tend to concede at least one in the Premier League anyway. But it's just not quite the same fun, is it?
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
It's not like proper fun football, is it? It's not like watching, I don't know, peak, like before they got their shit together and started playing championship football. Klopp's Liverpool, like 5-4 against Dortmund and stuff like that. That's fun. I mean,
I don't know about that.
not for someone who supports them, but yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, you think they've gotten more fun since they've gotten Haaland? I mean, there was, I think, because they were just trying to probe the entire time and didn't have that tip of the spear the previous seasons, and playing, Foden as a false nine, yada yada yada. They've become a bit more direct, which I think can be a bit more fun. So they're not exactly trying to pass it into the net as much. So maybe they have a little bit, but yeah, it's just, it's not fun for anyone.
No.
That's why everybody should support the second place team who's doing it the right way. But
the one that hasn't had a good season, right?
Yeah. No.
It's only a good season if you win a trophy, Ryan.
I know. I would have taken 7th in a heartbeat. Bring home the Conference League title next season. Actually have a decent season. I totally get it. Makes perfect sense to me.
So we have a comment from our one of our top listeners, Mr. Chickens. So if Man City get relegated next season, does it improve fantasy or real world?
Yes.
I don't think it improves. It improves fantasy, but I don't think it improves real world.
Less big games.
100% does.
How does it improve it?
Makes things more competitive. I mean, you have the best team that's gone, so you lose some of that quality, but more than enough teams with quality to pick up the slack. Plus, it's a lot more competitive. You don't have to have these tedious debates that we're having now about money in football, yada yada yada. So yeah, I think it does, but never going to happen. They won't even get a slap on the wrist, so it's a moot point. But I think it would, and especially for fantasy, because dear God, maybe it was just the point was driven home because somebody had a City stack in my main league, but it's just like it's so unoriginal and tedious.
Is that a slight dig at Totti there?
No,
it didn't go well for him though.
Yeah. No, that's
no.
Probably had the wrong one.
No.
Yeah, the wrong City stack.
Yeah, that's
not the Calvin Phillips City stack.
Oh, yeah, tasty.
Yeah,
but,
Evan, this mystery listener, Evan, has a good point though. You do want the best teams in the league, so
but it would cost.
I was going to say that you get those big games, don't you?
Let's do the Super League then. Why the hell not? Cut out the middleman.
I bet Evan wants the Super League.
Arch capitalist Evan absolutely wants the Super League.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Champions League changes that will be coming, they're almost like getting there halfway, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
Evan brings up the point that I probably should have done it myself, the city stack. I would never do that. I had a little bit of it. And I think they've become so insufferable that you need to have a little bit of it. But there's a point where it's just not fun if your entire game week is predicated on one team. I think it just takes the fun away from fantasy for me, which is like pulling up some unearthed gems and having a diversified portfolio. But that's just me.
Is it?
Yeah. Well,
I haven't had a look at all the Community League and Genie League division winners, but I do have a feeling that maybe it's a controversial thing to say, but I don't think you can win a title without dipping your toes in City.
You would have had to thread the needle with some of the tourneys.
I mean, you could get like Martinelli in the 3rd, and then Solly March in the 10th, and stuff like that. But
very difficult.
Like over the course of the 38 game season, not dipping into Julian Alvarez or the odd clean sheet shout with one of the defenders. I doubt you can find a champion.
Do you have a bit of that stack, Robbie?
No, in the Gold League, I had Gundogan for like 2/3 of the season, and that's it. On his own. I just couldn't get rid of him for any decent value. And
I remember, having those conversations. I had him as well.
Yeah, so I mean, even when he was starting half the time, like if it was a late game, I didn't even start him anyway. So
you can't.
It's all. But yeah, so that was my only City player in that one. So I'm not sure necessarily your rule is.
You still had a City player to win the title, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was much to do with it. Like you said before, it was March and
contributed
March and Kane and and
you did it the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Arsenal tried to build the City stack and they came close, but no cigar.
I mean, yeah, I'll take some of the scraps if they want to come, for sure. All right. Let's move along to way too early ranks. Chickens berated me for doing way too early ranks. But now I bet he's chomping at the bit after a week or so without any content. So, yeah, Toddy, when are we officially releasing?
We are planning to release our way too early ranks. Top 50 with some written word commentary around the Champions League final, so maybe a few hours before, so essentially Saturday afternoon.
Got it. Yeah, we'll just
we already have them in. We already have them in, so we can give a preview. I've gone with giving a preview of the top 10 and then the bottom 10 for some odd reason that I can't really explain why I did that, but it's in the doc now. So
I really want to see who Gavin has as 9-10 because he's got a couple that aren't even in this top 10. So I'd be curious.
Yeah, some interesting ones. So for those of us or those of the listeners who are listening and not watching either the live stream or the YouTube version, we have our now customary consensus ranks up on the screen now, with the top 10 for way too early ranks. And the way this works is that the consensus or the actual rank is calculated by getting everyone's ranks in and disregarding the outliers, and then getting median rank in. I think Evan will probably correct me if that's not the case, and we'll put that up on the screen. But our top 10 goes like this: Bruno Fernandes, Erling Haaland, Harry Kane, Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah. I think this top 5 is set in stone, by the way. Like, some of us, well, okay, that's Genie is the only one who doesn't have this top 5. And myself. Okay, yeah.
Rashford 4. Wow.
And the 6th through 10 is Kieran Trippier, Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Martin Odegaard. There is a pretty good consensus between all of us, except for Genie, and I'll stop saying except for Genie, because everyone listening should just
accustomed to it.
Yeah, should just put that
price that in.
Yeah, put that behind each of my statements or each of any of our statements. So except for Genie, it's pretty cut and dry. Most of us have this top 10 with a few 1 or 2 outliers who drop into the 15s. But yeah, the most interesting one probably is that Bruno Fernandes is number 1 for most of us. The Chap 1 has him at 5, and Joe has him at 2. And all the rest of us have him at 1. Why?
I
thought
I'd be the outlier with Bruno, because I said it a few weeks ago that he was going to be my number 1, just based off of looking at the stats, especially post World Cup.
He has been lights out since both.
Lights out hasn't. I don't think he's missed a game in since he came to Man United, which is so incredibly insufferable. He even had that game where his wife took a picture of him with a cast, and he was still there 2 days later, starting the match. So he doesn't get injured. If Man United, I'd be very surprised if they didn't buy a decent center forward. And if he did all of that post World Cup, number 1 scorer post World Cup, if he did all that with Weghorst up top, imagine what he's going to do with an actual center forward to feed it to. So it might sound controversial on paper, but I definitely think there's a great argument for him over Haaland.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, we're looking at, like you said, his post World Cup points per start was second highest behind Solly March, and it showed it was like key pass for days. And if they get someone like Kane up top there, good luck. It probably won't happen, but you never know. But yeah, that's what I see. I think. Obviously, they had the teething issues with Ten Hag coming in earlier in the season, and I think it was maybe the first 10 game weeks. It just wasn't, it wasn't actually
and Ronaldo.
that bad, but yeah, exactly, and it wasn't that great. And then suddenly things clicked, and he went off on one, and he was the Bruno, we know, and any improvements in that team can only help him. So
it's an interesting point though when you brought up Kane. Originally thought that and that still might be the case that he would make Bruno even more attractive, but it does mean that he would be taken off penalties.
I don't think so.
You think if Kane came that he would let Bruno take penalties?
No.
Not a chance.
No.
I think Bruno keeps penalties.
No. Not.
I mean, he made way for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I think it. He gave them to Ronaldo, and look what happened.
Kane chasing his only potential silverware in the Shearer record, and you think he's going to sign on to a club that's like, you know what, we're going to let Bruno Fernandes do his little stutter step, and you're not going to be on pens. There's not a chance in hell.
Yeah. We'd need to draft the thoughts or draft lad or
this might be our first bet.
Someone of a statistical mind to.
Well, this isn't a statistical thing. I mean, I would say it's common sense, but
yeah. I mean, there's There's lots of rumors of Real Madrid anyway now, so we'll see.
Yeah, could be a moot point. All right,
Yeah,
enough, Bruno.
Yeah, but
I agree.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many of his points came from penalties though. Like I know he took penalties and I know he scored them as well, but I just feel that I didn't have Bruno this season in any of my teams, but anytime I faced him, it was close to Trippier level, just
ghost points.
Just ghost points for days.
Yeah. It wouldn't take him out of the top 3 or 5 if he was off pens, but it would probably take him off number 1 for me if he was. Just that just puts him over the top over Haaland or Kane. But yeah, enough Bruno. Any other surprises, boys? You talked about the top 5 being pretty much locked in. That's when it starts to get a bit tricky in terms of who you take from 6 to 10. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Toy.
Gavin and myself have Saka at around 10, and the rest of you guys have him at around 6, 7, which is not a big difference. Like we're talking 2 spots, but first round is always hyper influential and very, very important. So yeah, we talked about this in DMs. I just can't. He's played a shit ton of games over the last few seasons, and if they don't get like a proper right wing substitute, like a Trossard level for Martinelli, who could come in and actually do a job there, then I don't see how he's not getting injured sometime mid-season. And if they do get someone good, then I think he will eat into his minutes a bit. Not hugely. Like I have him at 10, so it's not like I'm expecting a dud there. But yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable getting him at 5, 6.
I disagree there. I think they're just going to get better, and I think he's the next best thing after that top 5 in terms of explosion, because he's on the second most attack. He's the best player on the second most attacking team in the league. Scored the second most amount of goals. You look at his early season stats and some of his big performances post World Cup. That's the other thing. He won't have a World Cup in the middle of it to fully tire him out. They weren't in all the competitions at the end. Got a bit of a break. I think they'll have depth for him. I don't think he's going to rotate all that much. So I don't think there's going to be somebody to eat into his minutes, but he will be hopefully taken off more in like the 60th, 70th, which might eat into his points a little bit, but will keep him a bit more fresh. So it's a tricky after 5, but all in all, I think he probably might be the safest.
I have TA at 5, and I have Harry Kane dropping out just because of the transfer speculation that if on draft day is still not resolved, I'd probably stay away. But I think for the same reasons that you said about Saka, is there's no way, there's no one they can get to fill in at right back. Like Calvin Ramsey is a good player, but he's not going to play the TA role. He's not even going to do a Tsimikas. So I think he is the safest for minutes, and this new role for him is just magic. So
I just don't see Saka being an issue for minutes. He's been through a World Cup this season as well, and still, has played the whole season. So next season's going to be a more normal Hopefully, fingers crossed. One, and I don't know. I don't think there's any more risk than there was this season. There's even less, if you will.
Exactly.
And as I think Evans mentioned in the chat that Arsenal really are focusing on replacing those centre mids this season with looking at Caicedo and Rice. So, I don't know how much more money you guys are going to have.
Yeah, that's exactly what Evan's saying.
Yeah.
He doesn't think that the proper right wing backup is coming if 160 million is put into centre mids.
I mean, I don't think they're going to get anybody big, but I think they'll probably get somebody like not Trossard level, but in terms of maybe the transfer fee 2025, and then they just re-sign Reece. So I think Arteta believes in Reece a bit more. So like I said, I don't think he's going to start over him many games, but he'll provide that 20-30 minute cameo that'll give him some rest. So I don't know. We'll see.
Let's see.
Surprised.
Go ahead, Robbie.
I was surprised Solly March didn't make anyone's top 10. So.
I think the injury issues maybe because he's one of those that you wouldn't be surprised at all if he missed half the season next season.
Really? I mean, it was just literally one injury right at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, previous seasons I think the season before that he was out for a while.
Yeah, I have to look back, but I had it in my mind that it was more the whole Potter being a rotation nightmare, but yeah. He fell out of
European
favour,
nights now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
Rotating a bit more.
Yeah, true. Yeah, maybe I need to rethink these. They are way too early, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't.
It's the name of the game.
Hold us accountable.
Yeah.
The other tricky one. I mean, I think Trippier, Odegaard, and Rashford have their own caveats, but Rashford, for me, I could just see him falling back into his one season he's lights out, next season he's meh. So I could see him, and you saw him peter out a lot after the World Cup. So I don't see him as a consistent of a performer enough for me to expel.
I thought he pushed on after the World Cup. I thought he pushed on after the World Cup, but then sort of dropped off at the end.
Yeah, I mean, like the very end. I think the last 5 or 10 games.
Yeah, I mean,
I just feel like he's so streaky.
Yeah, his post World Cup points per start is 13.9. So pre was 8.8.
But look at the last 10 games. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult. I think there's a lot that could be changing at United, but so maybe there's a bit of uncertainty there in terms of his role, but especially if they get a striker in, but potentially on the wing he gets more ghosts, doesn't
he? Yeah, this is we are able to put up the Solly March injury numbers if you can check them out. He missed 18 games in the 19 games in the 2021 season, and one game in the 21-22 season. So he had one very off season, and then the rest was pretty good.
Okay.
So yeah, probably rotation is more of an issue. Are we ready to move on to our bottom 10?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So
this is such a cesspool.
Yeah, this is a bit of a different ball game. So we have Darwin Núñez at 40, Ilkay Gundogan at 41, Said Benrahma at 42, Willian at 43, Andrew Robertson, Christopher Nkunku, Fabian Schär, James Tarkowski, Alex Iwobi, Alexis McAllister, and Alex Moreno, rounding out the top 50. A few of these guys were not ranked by some of our analysts, including Genie didn't rank Darwin Nunez at all.
I was 57, I think it looks like.
Yeah, you were 57.
I think I gave a few above 50. He's a difficult one to like that whole Liverpool front line. I was just playing around with the expected start numbers, and it was just a bit of a headache, really, in terms of what you can expect. I think. I mean, who are you expecting to be that top three? That's the thing. It's obviously Salah, and then I'm assuming Diaz will go left, and then it's going to be, Jota, Gakpo rotation within that, and you're sort of looking at where does Nunez fit in there.
I'm more bullish. I'm more bullish on Nunez than you guys are. I think Klopp has to slot him in, and I think he goes tip of the spear with Diaz and Salah. But yeah, I mean, it could just as easily go Gakpo. I just think that he's my biggest, I think, high upside pick at this level. But you could very easily get burned. So it's a risk reward proposition for him.
Massively risk and reward. But I think the whole point maybe things will change over, pre-season and that, but I just don't think he was, pressing in the system the way Klopp wanted, and Gakpo came in and he took that straight away, and he was just like, okay, that's you. So until that changes, I don't think there's, I don't think he's going to be in there 100%. So yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this on the last in-season pod, and I think I was very bullish on saying that it's going to be Salah, Diaz, and Gakpo as the best or the number one front three, and then Jota coming in for Diaz and Nunez coming in for Gakpo in different sort of games, or even Nunez coming in for one of the midfielders and making it a 4-2-3-1, which we've seen a bit more lately, and I'd like to see a fair bit more. I think 4-2-3-1 makes sense with the squad, depending on who they get in. But yeah, Christopher Nkunku is, I think, our only Chelsea player in the top 50.
I think maybe. I did include Sterling as a bit of a punt, but and Mount actually as well.
I put Chile in there.
Yeah, a few of us, we had shouts for Reece James, Chilwell, Mount. Probably not at Chelsea though.
Oh yeah, Reece James made it at 38.
Yeah. So, two Chelsea players. The numbers that Nkunku put up at Leipzig are just very, very, very difficult to ignore. But we'll see if Chelsea can ruin him.
Yeah, it's a good segue to shout out Evan's spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Robbie. Tell us what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, sure. So Draft Lads put together a great spreadsheet, does it every season for us, converting all of the potential transfers into the fancy Fantrax points, so we can get a feel for exactly what they've been doing in the previous season, and getting a gauge of whether they'll be good or not. Obviously, there's so much you need to factor and tax into how they're going to come over and how that's going to adjust. So if they're coming up from the Championship or they're going from the Bundesliga, sometimes what I tend to try and do is, if I'm going to convert it, I'll largely keep the ghost points the same, because he does break it down to that, and then try and reduce the points that you get from clean sheets and goals by a significant amount, be it 25, 50%, whatever, depending on the player. So that tends to be how I convert that. But yeah, it's up to you, obviously, to see what your inclination is to that.
Talk a bit about Andrew Robertson. I mean, has there been a bigger falling off of a cliff between drafts, not related to injury or rotation or anything like that, just sucking.
Yeah, three of the analysts haven't even ranked him in the top 50.
That's how bad he was.
I mean, it's the role
10.
change. Like, he was actually decent for a period of in and around the World Cup, but
3 games.
he was better than Trent then. Anyway, it still wasn't great, but yeah, you look at the with in possession, Trent inverting into midfield. What happens? Like, Robertson has to push back, so he's not going forward. He's not doing as much. I mean, he's doing nothing.
So, what's the earliest you take him?
I mean, we may very well not like have that system next season. So, it's again a bit of risk and reward, as we mentioned before. So, yeah,
3rd round.
Nah, come on now.
I think once you start getting into end of 3rd, start of 4th, it depends what else is about, but you may start thinking about the risk being worth it.
I think a decent comparison is the guy 2 spots behind him is Fabian Schär. Like, would you take the potential upside of a minimal role change Andrew Robertson to clean sheet monster that is Fabian Schär?
I mean, you say clean sheet monster, but I mean, I think Liverpool and Newcastle had similar clean sheets in the end. But anyway,
did they?
Yeah. I was looking the other day because Newcastle basically didn't get a clean sheet for like the rest of it was like maybe 5 or 6 games after the World Cup. They just like
did a role
reversal,
and
then barely got any after that. So I'd have to check, but I think it was 36% clean sheet in the end, and they were like about 55-60 at one point. So
nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's more the ghost for him. Like he actually did get a couple of returns. So.
Yeah, just shows that even at 40 to 50, there are so big risks to take. Like with the certainty and the difference in opinion that resulted in like 2 spot difference for Saka or something like that is such a distant memory at the time when you get to like the 50th player taken in a draft.
Yeah.
That even doing way too early ranks until top 50 is a bit of a not so useful exercise. Like top 15 maybe, but these guys, so much can change so quickly.
Safest choice of this bunch is Alex Iwobi.
Yeah.
Which
true.
Says it all.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. That's it. And how? I mean, I know obviously Genie didn't rank McNeil, but how high are you taking him? That's the thing. Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait till Saturday to find out where McNeil is.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So Evan thinks Liverpool will improve, so Robo will be better, but still not great.
I assume he means Klopp there, but
I do assume, yeah. So just a quick look at scoring things, and this will be more better digested through a visual medium. That is YouTube.
TLDR.
Yeah, TLDR is due to the changes in the gameplay and the scoring system not adjusting to the actual in real life way that teams play. The shift that was already there in original Toga scoring that favored attackers much more than defenders has become like huge. So for people seeing the screen on YouTube or on Spotify right now, this is a density plot for points per start for players. So you can see that the average points per start is around 7.5, and most of the forwards and attacking midfielders and wingers are above that, and very, very few of the center backs and a few of the fullbacks are above that. So this means for layman that if scoring stays the same, defenders will become less and less and less valuable, and attackers will become more and more and more valuable. So having formation lock that only allows 3 forwards and 5 midfielders means that that most of the weeks you're going to play 3 defenders, which will lock you into either a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. Essentially, that's the two formations that you will most likely be able to play, because any streaming defender will not get you the points per start that you expect from a general streamer, from a midfielder or a forward.
So how are you utilizing these trends to approach the next draft? You go heavy on elite defenders, but quality over quantity, essentially.
Exactly. So we have had internal discussions about changing scoring in a more meaningful way, and I won't bore our listeners with that. But it seems that the consensus is that we will need to phase in the more drastic score change over a course of a few seasons. But if scoring stays the same, the takeaway here is that you have to build your squad to play either 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2, meaning you have to go heavy on midfielders, heavy on attackers, just like every season. And if you're not getting a top level defender, then you're probably gonna have to settle for a defender that gets you 5 to 7 points every game, because you're not getting a CB center back that gets you higher than the average score. You may luck into a fullback that gets you higher than the average points per start, but even that's very difficult, and you're more likely to get a stream happening with a winger or a midfielder.
Yeah, I found myself playing basically a 3-5-2. I think the last half of the season.
Same here.
Here. Started getting a whiff of this trend based on the scores, because I usually keep 3 to 4 forwards, 2 of which are usually kind of high upside guys that rotate a bit. So I rarely can play 3-4-3, but have a hell of a lot of midfielders. So it's usually a 3-5-2.
I guess a lot of this brings into, and I think Tom raises the point there, is actually, and I guess these are your war principles as well as the cost of the replacement. So actually, if you can get a top like a defender like a Trent, then like the amount he's going to be better than the replacement level on the waiver wire is going to be so ridiculous that actually is it worth you going for that, obviously if the value's right in the draft, rather than going for a mid or a forward. Like it could actually, if you're more able to stream a mid, even if it's just a high floor mid, rather than low upside, then could be the way to go.
Yeah, that's why I said I think the going heavy on the elite defenders is the way to go. Just get 2 or 3 in the bag before round 8, and then keep one slot open for streamers.
Yeah, and Joe raises a question. You can always stream defenders, but like you said, Robbie, this is the big takeaway here is that you can't effectively stream.
Is there ever?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the article I put together earlier in the season after the World Cup sort of highlighted a lot of this, but effectively is the way teams are playing now. There's a lot more on the floor. They're keeping possession more. There's less of the sort of the Dyche effect where they're just pumping balls in. It's aerials for days. So obviously, unless you're Michael Keane,
Felipe, what's the word?
Felipe,
yeah.
Yeah. So there's less of that happening. So you're just looking at a situation where they're not getting the peripheral stats and they're still conceding a lot of goals, and it's just centre backs just aren't fun, and the fullbacks weren't even that great either. So
seriously,
it's sort of a bit of and Drafter Thoughts have put a bit of this together, but it seems like this trend has been going along for the last 3 or 4 years now in terms of those defenders losing a lot of those peripheral stats. So it's something that could be readdressed, if you will, but obviously you can see in terms of the points there.
This is our next slide, that this is how players get their points slide, and you can see that key passes and aerials, key passes more than anything, but aerials as well are dominating the points. And the issue with this is that key passes are around the same since the last 6 years, or for the last 6 years, but aerials, the one stat that gets defenders the most points, have dropped off by close to 25% in the last 6 years. So just defenders are just not getting enough aerials for that stat to compensate for them not getting key passes. And that is mainly the reason why we are thinking of wholesale changes. If anyone's interested, we will work together with the Community League, with the International Genie League, and with the Discord Super League, and setting up a league with new scoring, and we will showcase what Draft Thoughts has put together about a more balanced and more close to real life type of scoring.
So more to come.
Yeah.
Let's go to the quiz. Oh no, we're going to the summer drink. Sorry.
No, we can go. We can go to the quiz.
I mean, you already know my answer about the drink, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not selling ourselves as a mystery with the drinks.
Wondering where you're going with that.
Yeah, I didn't know either, but I'm glad you finished.
Let's go. Let's go to the quiz. So
okay.
What we had an idea about this quiz with fellow quiz head Drafted Thoughts while we were listening, both of us, to the Totally Football show on the Athletic, and they do this sort of elimination type quiz. They do a bracket, and then the final itself is a big full length podcast type of quiz, and that's what we are trying to emulate. So we have put together a group of fantasy experts who we put in 2 brackets. One is the European bracket, and the other is the North American bracket. The European bracket involves Robbie and myself, who will do the inaugural first quarterfinal today, live, and our esteemed guests, Gordon from Overthinking Football fame and Sanji from Banter Boys fame will be the second quarterfinal, and the North American bracket will see Gavin and Joe face each other, and drafting for upside, Zach, who we had on the show a few weeks ago, will face Ryan in the quarterfinals. We'll have the brackets stay local for the semifinals, and we'll have just like I think I've been told, golf has some sort of similar tournament that has the North Americans pitted against the Europeans.
Ryder
we'll
Cup,
have,
I think.
yeah, right, something like that. So we'll have something
I'm telling
similar. We'll have something similar to that in our off-season pods. So, without further ado, Ryan is here to administer the quiz to the first two quarterfinalists.
All right,
It's
boys.
straight up 5 questions each, and I believe there are some tiebreakers at the end. If
you let me go through the rules, I will tell the folks. I don't even know how you know it's 5 questions. My God, it's starting to get worried. It's a bit dodgy, isn't it? All right, so unless Toddy wants to talk about the rules and or the questions, he's got a copy of them.
That's the most all I knew about the rules.
All right. So yeah, as you mentioned, 5 questions each. We go back and forth. You go 1, Robbie goes 1. 60 seconds per question. If scores are tied after the 10 questions, we go to a tiebreaker. I will start with a coin toss in which, Toddy, you'd say heads or tails. Depending on who wins that, you get to pick set A questions or set B questions. I think this is probably the fairest way to do that. So,
and set Toddy, A goes first, right?
No, Toddy, heads or tails. If you get it right, you get to pick set A or B. If you don't, Robbie gets to pick A or B.
Okay, heads.
All right, I got a Great British Pound here, so probably advantage Robbie here. I don't have any forints on me. All right, let's see.
Good point.
It's heads.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll go
Queen Elizabeth. God bless her. So A or B?
I'll go B. B.
Bad choice. All right, Toddy's gonna go B. So Robbie, you're up first with question A. So you get to answer this, not Toddy, and then we go to the other side.
There's no competing for the question.
No, not until maybe the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
All right. First question, set A. Which Newcastle player was Premier League Player of the Month for October of this season?
Ooh. Oh dear. Was Almiron that good by that point? I don't think he was. I can't think of anyone else necessarily. It's either going to be like, Trips or Shah or Botman or something. I'll go Almiron. Go on.
Almiron. Man, I thought you might talk yourself out of that. Goodness
that's what I thought as well.
Stuff.
All right. So 1-0, Robbie. Question 1, set B. Finally a civilized club. Which Arsenal player was Premier League Player of the Month for November, December, which was combined due to the World Cup? A little trickier.
Yeah. Was it? I have no idea. I'll go punt. And was it Granit Xhaka?
Nope. It was the Norwegian magician, Martin Odegaard.
That was my second choice.
Well, fools and horses. All right. That was the wrong metaphor, but oh well. All right. 1-0, Robbie. Question 2 for set A. Oh, goodness. Name either the goalkeeper or any defender who was in the 2021-2022 PFA Team of the Year.
Name any goalkeeper.
Either the goalkeeper or any defender that was in the 2021-2022 PFA Team of the Year.
21-22. Maybe I think I'll go with Ruben Diaz.
Wow. I did not think you were not going to get that. So Allison, Trent, Virgil,
Trent.
Antonio Rudiger, and João Cancelo rounded out the back four.
Yeah, crap. Oh, well.
I was going to go Trent.
Yeah.
Left the door open for...
we've been so bad this year, I've forgotten how good we were last year. Christ. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
At least waste your answer on like Natty Ice or something. My God.
Yeah. That was the year before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, 1-0 Robbie. Question 2, set B, Toddy. Name either a midfielder or a forward who was in the 2021-2022 PFA Team of the Year. Either a midfielder or a forward.
Mo Salah?
Yes. It was Bernardo Silva, Thiago Alcantara. Wow. KDB,
Thiago.
Sadio Mane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mohamed Salah. Tied up. Yeah.
Tap in.
Nice throwback. All right, we're tied at 1 going into question 3. All right, Robbie.
Yeah.
Question 3 for set A. Name a midfielder who registered a 40-plus score in Fantrax default scoring this season. There have been 3.
It's a tough one because I want to say KDB, but I don't think he quite had one. McNeil.
Yep. I was going to say recency bias. That 46-pointer he did against Brighton.
Yeah.
Who were the other two?
Olise was 43, and then Bruno dropped to 41.5.
Okay. So at least I was right about KDB.
Yeah.
I was
going to go KDB.
I think he did like a 37 or something like that, but it wasn't quite.
I rostered him. I think, the best he got was 38 or something with like 2 assists and a goal. He was steady, but not as explosive.
Yeah.
All right. Advantage United Kingdom. All right. 2-1 Robbie. Question 3 for set B, Toddy. Name a forward not named Erling Haaland who registered a 40-plus score in Fantrax default scoring this season.
Too easy.
I'll go Bobby Firmino.
Yeah.
You know who the other one was? Full circle.
There's
only 2.
Two forwards not named Erling Haaland who had a 40-plus score.
Yeah.
Did Jota have that huge week?
Wasn't 40-plus.
It was 30s, wasn't it?
Is it Jesus in the
was
early?
Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah. First few weeks.
Oh, sorry, full circle. Now I'm getting it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Your two sort of agenda over the years.
I wouldn't say agenda, but
well, I mean, we've all had to listen to this.
Yeah. No, I had to live it, so it's even worse.
Yeah.
All right. Deadlocked at 2-2 going into the fourth round here.
Mm.
Oh, this is tasty. I'm trying to think if I would get this, but all right. Question 4 for you, Robbie. Which Italian club did Ademola Lookman join in August 2022?
Oh, Christ. Shit. This is on the fringes of my memory. Because there's so many like random ones, like Tomori going to AC Milan and things like that. That's like skewing my thinking, I think. Oh dear. Where did he go?
He's gone into his void.
I'm gonna go like Fiorentina. I don't know.
Atalanta.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Because they had a period where they're doing well. They're quite attacking, weren't they?
Yeah.
And he was doing well as well.
Yeah.
Oh man, this one's
clearly not now.
Yeah. Still 2-2. Left opening for Toddy, but let's see if he crawls through the door here. All right, Toddy. Question 4 for you. Similar vein. Which Italian club did Harry Winks join on loan in August 2022? My God.
I did not.
I would never have gotten this.
No.
And I follow Harry Winks' career extensively.
Yeah. You have the
progressive
notifications
passes.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Basuma came in.
Okay, so it's not any of the ones that I didn't see the Fiorentina game, but I would have heard his name mentioned on Twitter if he played there. So I'm gonna go not any of the ones that are reaching the European finals. I know he didn't go to Juventus. I know. Well,
he's up all your time with this dissertation.
I'll go. Spezia.
Oh God! Where the hell did you come up with that? No, it was Sampdoria, but I really appreciate
Where?
you.
Sampdoria.
Oh, Sampdoria. Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought you said something else. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Spezia. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, we're deadlocked at 2 going into the final round here. Let's see if we need this tiebreaker.
Robbie's legs.
Yeah. Question 5, Robbie. Who has the most Premier League assists? Official, not fantasy. Christian Eriksen, Jordan Henderson, Riyad Mahrez, or Theo Walcott?
Is it this season or ever?
Yeah, that's clearly
It's
not
total.
this season, but
Total ever.
the total ever Premier League assists.
Yeah. Just amongst those.
Can you
those
repeat
4 players.
the list though?
Christian Eriksen, Jordan Henderson, Riyad Mahrez, Theo Walcott.
I mean, it's got to be Eriksen, isn't it? I mean, it feels like a trick question, but I'll go Eriksen.
It is Eriksen.
Yeah.
So in order, it's Eriksen with 74, Mahrez 61, Theo 56,
Well,
Henderson 54. Theo.
You forgot he was like good for a bit.
Oh no, I didn't. But he was more.
It's just
goal
been so
scorer.
long, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Until recently.
Exactly. Turned it on before relegation.
Rolling back the years. Yeah.
All right, 3-2, Robbie. Toddy with the chance to take it into OT, but Robbie can steal if he trips up on this one. All right, Toddy, question 5 for you. Who has the most Premier League goals? Cristiano Ronaldo, Seung Heung-min, Raheem Sterling, or Jamie Vardy?
That's a tough one.
I'll go Ronaldo.
Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Man. Jamie Vardy with 136. Sterling with 115. Son with 103. Ronaldo with 103.
Just wasn't here long enough, was he? He wasn't like prolific enough at the start as well, was he?
Yeah, that's what got me.
Yeah, there's like 3 seasons he had in the late 2000s were monster, but yeah, he just didn't have the longevity like Jamie did.
Yeah.
Wow. 3-2 win. Robbie,
Good game,
congratulations,
Totty.
my friend.
Congrats.
Team Brexit.
Team Brexit.
It was all worth it.
Oh yeah.
Getting Brexit done. Robbie P.
So
One quiz at a time.
That's right. Taking back sovereignty one quiz at a time.
That's it.
I was worried about the comments because I wasn't tracking the comments. I was worried about them answering before.
I think they were coming in a bit late anyway, so I don't think.
Okay, good. Yeah, so next time gonna have to put out a proviso for not doing that. But yeah, that was fun. It was a good one, man. There were some tricky ones there. So yeah, good on you both.
Yeah.
Now Toddy wants to take it a little lighter with the summer drinks after that.
Yeah.
Massive defeat.
Massive.
I think you need a summer drink after
I
that.
do. I'm opening the liquid cocaine right now.
Do a couple bumps of that, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, summer plans and summer drinks. Those are the two topics that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
Summer drinks. I as Robbie knows, I love a good ale. Boddington's is usually a good one you can get here. So I like pouring a pint of Boddington's. Also, Grolsch is good in the summer. It's tasty.
Yeah, we have a rule. If you find Grolsch on tap in a pub, I have to have one.
100%.
Just like that.
Over here, we have those. They come in those bottles where it's like kind of champagne, where you have to like pop them off.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I got a couple of those in the fridge right now, which is tempting me.
Nice.
Otherwise, gin and tonic, definitely good for a hot day. So those are my go-tos. How about you guys? Other than Gamma Ray.
Oh yeah, it's got to be the Gamma Ray. I don't know if anyone's never had a session on that stuff. It's too good. Like you get about 7 in, you're happy as Larry. So it's good
can you buy that like bottled as well?
They have the cans, no little cans, but yeah.
What's the brand again?
Beavertown. Yeah.
Beavertown, yeah.
It's the only one I like, really. but yeah, no, it's but yeah, unless we were down the Bermondsey Beer Mile the other day, and they actually had like they've got like so many different. Oh, did you make it down there, Ryan?
Yeah. I did, but there was only one. There was only one open.
Yeah, it's the problem midweek. Yeah.
Yeah, what was the name of it? It was really funny because the one we picked, it was like Southwark or something. Southwark Brewing. Yeah. And they and it was just like proud to be a local South London brewery, and it had all the brewery equipment had Sunderland logo snapped on it. I asked the bartender, I was like, dude, what's up with the Sunderland stuff? He's like, oh, the owner is a big Sunderland supporter, so he slaps them all on stickers on all the equipment. So, but yeah, they had a tasty red ale, which I appreciated.
Nice. There's one just a little bit further down, Manspatch and Hob Day, and the last time we went there, I actually went there with Sanjay, and they had like a wild flower, like honey mead or something. I don't know if you guys like mead, but that stuff went down. Like it was just like for a hot like summer day, it was just like absolutely sink it. It was great. So yeah, that'll be my other recommendation.
I know you guys are. I know Ryan is very much against Peroni, but they just.
We were talking about that when we were in person, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, the Twitter feed that's it's called like Pints Drink or whatever, and it's always like, oh, this is a Hall of Fame, taps.
No.
It's like Peroni and fucking Moretti and like
I just I'm always like the ones from like Tenerife and that in like the super like ice cold like pint glasses that
shit Cruz
got
Campo
for like
beer,
a euro.
yeah,
So
it looks nice.
Those are the ones.
Yeah, but that's like that's the summer drink, isn't it? Like it doesn't have to be good, it doesn't have to be tasty, it just has to be fucking cold and easy to drink. So yeah, they just brought out. I just saw it in a supermarket out here. I think it's called Peroni Capri or something like that, and that has a lemon tang. Peroni. So I'll go and try that. I don't like fruity beer. So we'll see how it goes. But I since my Thailand trip, I'll go for a Chang every now and then.
Also, full circle. Robbie and I went to a Thai place and ordered Chang in honor of Stephen Pinar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yakubu.
Yeah,
those famous Chang players. Yeah, but I'm partial to any cold lager that I can get in summer because, like, for me,
what are you drinking for the final on Saturday?
I don't know yet.
Staying home, or are you going to a pub, or what's everybody's plans?
The weather's been shit this week, but if the weather turns, that I have a screen that I can put up in my garden, and
nice.
I have some steaks that I can put on the grill with some friends to come over. So I hope the weather turns nice for tomorrow or for Saturday night. But if not, then I'll go to a pub and have the lager that they have on tap.
What about you, Rob?
To be honest, I hadn't even thought that far ahead. So yeah, as long as I got the girls in bed, then can hopefully manage to watch it. We'll see. But yeah, there's a pub over the road that my mate lives about like 5 minutes walk away, and we have a pub in the middle. So maybe we'll try and do that.
That's good.
Yeah, it's like
it didn't tap, I assume.
It doesn't actually. Like I'll probably just get the Moretti. Yeah, I'll probably go for the Moretti. I mean, as it's got the neck oil, as Tom mentioned, but it's not about that stuff.
Is that the Beavertown Lager?
It's the session beer. It's an IPA still. Yeah. I think it's either a pale ale or an IPA. I can't remember.
I think they called it an American IPA or something, don't they?
Yeah. It's American pale ale.
Yeah, APA.
Yeah, which is
is.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure about the neck oil, but yeah, like I said, I don't drink that stuff.
I hate.
I'd just rather have like a clean lager, like Totti was saying. But yeah, the American, the sort of the British beers are masquerading as American swill, right?
Exactly.
I don't actually mind a Pilsner either, if it's cold enough.
Oh, there you go. Tom's saying it's a session IPA. There you go. So I knew it was a session. I just didn't know if it was an IPA or not.
Yeah. I hate the fact that at the Emirates they only sell the Camden town brewery stuff.
I don't like that stuff either.
Yeah, not a big fan. At Bromley, I was able to get a proper pint. I was able to get some Tetleys.
They have a Beavertown brewery or like a proper pub at Spurs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, didn't I tell you about that? Didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how obsessed I am.
I mean, you're gonna have to have a couple of those to watch that shit. Then you go to the cheese bar or whatever.
And you can walk on the top of the stadium as well.
I mean, at least they can pour the pints
Jump
quickly.
off.
Just whack them down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. They have that like state-of-the-art system where that comes up on its own.
I have to say, it was really slow in the Emirates. It was really bad. I mean, it's just like everywhere you go, really. But
Yeah, you need to be up in the club section, my friend.
I know. Well, we don't all have the same contacts, do we? So.
Well,
but cheers for getting the tickets
point.
for us, anyway.
Yeah. We did have the same contact in this sense.
Hands down, the best beer experience in a stadium was in Düsseldorf when we went to see Düsseldorf against Dortmund, and the sheer speed at which they poured they got the beers out was like art, essentially. And they had these mugs that had the little handle on them, and you could put the handles into each other, so you could actually you could carry like 5 or 6 beers holding one handle. And we were
at the same thing at Dortmund. They call it a gentleman's suitcase.
Yeah, but that's a different one. That's
like the paper one.
Yeah. They had the handles.
I know which one you mean.
Slotted into each other, so they didn't go high up.
Okay.
And they slotted into each other, and you could carry 5 beers just by holding one handle, and it was magic. It was. And the whole thing, like, if I know you, Ryan, you've been, but anyone else listening, or Robbie yourself, if you can make it to a German game, it's like proper. That's how you do football at a game.
Yeah, too hammered though.
Just being able to drink in the stands is a luxury that us Brits just can't afford. I mean, like you go to the cricket and you're like, oh, this is it's just brilliant, isn't it? You just get to drink all day, and then like, oh, just for like 90 minutes, you can't do anything. It's like, anyway, is what it is, isn't it? It's not going to change.
Yeah, it's not going to
change.
No,
not after. Yeah. The Conference League with
arguably worse was the fact that when we went to the Euros in 2016, they served beer that was 0.5% alcohol, and there was like, you drank it, but you didn't like it.
I'm gonna drink it, but I don't have to like it.
Yeah, and it was like.
Wait, were you allowed in the stands with that?
You were.
Okay.
Could
you have the real stuff, but you couldn't take it to the stands? Like that was the trade-off? That's the only beer they had?
That's the only beer they had in the stadium.
Oh my God. That's a war crime.
That is, and I still, to the day, I haven't seen anyone else say this, but to the day now, I am of the opinion that they had some kind of tranquilizer or some kind of sleeping pill in those beers, because there was like, it may have been the 2,000 kilometers driving and then going straight to the game. It may have been that, but every time I had the beer, I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep right now, just for 10 minutes,
Replace the alcohol with tryptophan. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well,
I think we've done the beer to death anyway.
Yeah. I think we should wrap her up, and lest the audience think we're alcoholics. But thanks both of you for joining. Thank you, Drafter Thoughts, for the tasty quiz. Looking forward to the rest of that playing out. I think Robbie faces the winner of Sanji and Gordon, and then we'll have the Yanks do the other half fairly soon. So
nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Good stuff.
We'll have. I think the easiest way will be if we'll
maybe do a couple in one,
or we'll get the quarterfinals recorded and then play them on the pod, because I think that's going to be the easiest. So we'll set those up and we'll stagger them out through the off-season pods. We're coming out with our signature draft kit at the end of June, beginning of July, so keep an eye out for that. But until then, I think we'll still do a few pods. Until then, there's 2.5 weeks to go. So we'll see and hear from us. We'll have the way too early ranks out Saturday afternoon. and we'll have a few bits and pieces out after that as well.
Yep, no rest for the weary. I'm gonna have to start writing that draft kit any day now, boys.
Yeah, God,
A great off season.
That seems way too soon.
I know.
Yeah.
It happens like this every time. We're like, great, it's a nice little break, and then a week later we're writing up starting 11 predictions. So name of the game. So all right, guys. Well, thanks again. Adios, los muchachos y las muchachas. Y que vaya bien.
Yep.
Peace.
See you guys.
Cheers.